Hello and welcome to another 5-minute tech tip with Dave Casuto at SF Tech Training. In this 5-minute tech tip, I'm going to just give you a quick little introduction to a combination of some Photoshop features using layers and also selection techniques, some basic selection techniques to sort of create something like this. So this is going to be a probably 2 or 3 part set of videos to show you how you can work with layering techniques to be able to kind of create the illusion of depth between different elements on the screen, as well as bringing in text and also selecting things to get them removed. And also you can see we have different effects like a shadow, we have a glow, we have all kinds of different things here to add some realism and some visual interest. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the image here. Okay, and what we want to do is actually bring in our dinosaurs, and we want to bring in our little flying saucers and things like that. And we want to create the illusion that they're behind the little church here. So the first thing I have to do is make this blue sky into another layer. So I have my layers panel up here, and I'm just going to unlock this. So very quickly and easily I can click on the lock icon. That gets unlocked. And I'm going to use one of my selection tools here, and I'm going to use the quick selection tool to be able to just select this sky. I'm going to go very slowly and gently, and notice what it does. It just fits nicely around all of the different shapes, and it finds the contrast between them, and then it just clings into it beautifully. Now, some of it doesn't get it perfectly, so I need to maybe use some other advanced selection things like maybe just a basic lasso. So I want to actually unselect this, and also you can see it's also got some of the dome. I don't want that. So I'm going to select the lasso tool, hold down the Alt key, and then notice how it turns into a little minus sign next to the lasso, and then just click on that, and then bam, I got that back. And let me come back over to my quick selection tool, do the same thing. Notice how there's a little plus sign in the middle, and I'm going to hold down the Alt key and then just give that a little bit of a nudge. Give that a little bit of a nudge. Okay, make my brush a little smaller using the left bracket tool. And there we go. That should be good enough for now, just to show you the purpose here. Let me zoom back out a little bit. And I have the sky selected. What I'd like to do is put this onto another layer altogether. I don't want to delete it. I don't want to cut and paste it. I'm just going to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to click on layer up on top here, choose new. I'm going to say layer via cut. And what that does is it puts this on its own layer here. So you'll notice it's now been cut and put into another layer in one fell swoop. Now, why did I do that? I did that so I can bring in my dinosaurs and put them sort of in between the church and the sky. So let's now go ahead and bring in my images. I'm going to say File, and we're going to say Place Embedded. Okay, that's how Adobe calls bringing in or importing. All right, so let me bring in, let's just say, that pretty creature there. And it's going to take up the whole screen, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And just kind of have that hovering there. I'm going to hit enter when I'm finished. You'll notice that what it does when you place in images from the outside, it actually makes into what's called a smart object. And that's good on some levels, but for our purposes, it's not good. We don't want that. So I need to convert this to a rasterized layer. If I don't do that, then I can't get rid of this white background. So in this case, I'm going to use the magic wand tool to get rid of the white background. So I click on that, hit delete on my keyboard, and then that goes away. Right click, and then I'm going to say deselect. All right, now if you'll notice where it is in the layers panel, it is now up on top, so that's why we're seeing this up front. So what I'm going to do is now just drag this down below and see what happens now. Okay, probably not what I want. Come over to here. Is that what I want? Probably not what I want either. So I'm going to have to kind of figure out, well, what's in the background? What's in the foreground? The sky is actually behind everything, isn't it? So that is going to be the bottom layer. So you can see how layer management works. I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag that down. And then my dinosaur is now in the middle. And now it creates the illusion that it is now between the sky and the church. Okay, so now that is about to come over and take over this hapless Italian village. We can see that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and enter there. So now a little bit of layer management. So I'm just going to call this sky, just double click, hit sky, and call this piazza. Okay, and then that'll be the first part of our two-part series, right? Well, actually two things that we learned in this, and I'm going to probably make this a maybe three-part series. So we learned how to bring in images. We also learned how to select different parts of our image using the quick selection tool, also using the magic wand tool, and I also used a little bit of the lasso tool and doing some more advanced features like holding down the Alt key to remove some of my selection as well. Okay, then I brought in this image, and then using our layers, I was able to actually separate them out and move it into the layer ordering of where it needed to be to create this illusion that it's behind here. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to keep building off of this, so I'm just going to do little 5-minute chunks as the name of the video series promises. So come back and we'll continue on with this.